What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Snack Time. My name is Ben, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a secret sharing open source project called Vito. So if we jump on into the software, I'm going to show you a little bit about it, and then I'm going to show you how to install it. Very easy, very straightforward. So this is really about, keeping your stuff that you're sharing secret and also not keeping it out there forever. Not a lot of customization to be done at this level. We'll explore a little bit if there's any other options, but I'm pretty sure that this is about it. It even tells you, like, check this out. We have, let's see here, automatic expiration. So all secrets are automatically going to expire and are permanently deleted after 1 hour. So unlike with Private Bin and a couple of those like secret sharing sites, there's no real customization to be had here at this level. Also single use. So as soon as somebody opens it, it's gone. There's you refresh your page, it's done for. Let's see. Also, all of the encryption that is done in the database is hidden in the URL. And without that URL, you're not going to be able to access it. So even if somebody did gain access to the database of the server, not going to do them a lot of good. All right, so let me go ahead and show you how it works. I went ahead and created a little site called Vito.synhow. So let's go ahead and type in our secret. Our secret is the sky is actually green. You can add an extra layer of protection to this. You can require a password in order for someone to access this. I'm going to go ahead and just create the secret. All right, and here is our URL right there. You can see, I believe this is the encryption key that we would need to access our information that's being stored on this server. Again, after 1 hour, it's going to be gone anyway. Let's copy this URL and let's open a new tab and just go ahead and paste it in here. All right, so we're going to hit decrypt and reveal. The sky is actually green. If we refresh this page, it is gone. It doesn't exist any longer. It is gone off of the server. So definitely very, very private centric and does not want you to have any sort of secrets out there for anybody else to accidentally intercept or gain access to. And also, I guess that's the good thing, is that you have the knowledge of, if someone shares a secret with you and it doesn't exist, then that means it was most likely opened somewhere else. So that's kind of good to know. Let's see, let's do one with a password. Let's see, all my passwords are easy. And I'm just going to do password, create this. All right, so copy our URL. Paste it in here, and it does require our password. If we type it in wrong, then we're going to hit decrypt. Oh, failed to decrypt. All right, let's type in password, decrypt, and reveal. Cool. So really easy and straightforward, and the setup is also equally so. So I'm going to show you how to do that. For this, we're going to need a Docker installation. And we're also going to need Portainer and Nginx Proxy Manager, because I'm going to make this internet facing. Whether you choose to do that or not, it's up to you. Let's go ahead and jump over to the installation, and I'll see you there in just a second. All right, so first off, we're going to start off at the GitHub page. That's where most of our journeys begin. And let's do this. This is the URL at the top here in case you need it. It'll also be down on the description of this video. But once we are here, let's scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. Well, not actually the bottom. It's about a fourth of the way. So he will describe how to do this with just a terminal, but we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be using Portainer, but we do need this little Docker compose file right here to put into our Portainer. Let's go ahead and copy this guy right there. And we're going to make a couple of changes, especially when it comes to the storage, but I'll show you that in just a second. Once we copy this, let's head over to our Portainer instance and let's go to stacks. Let's create a new stack, and we're going to call it Vito. I'm going to paste here. And what I like to do with every single one of my Portainer explanations is to pretty much go line by line and let you know what it's doing. There's not a lot to this one, so it should be quick. And we'll also make a change to the volumes a little bit, and I'll tell you why. All right, so as we're looking here, we start off with services. That's pretty a given app. The image that we're going to be using, going to be pulling from this site and going Vito, and we're going to be getting the latest version. Restart policies unless stopped, which means a server reboots. This thing's going to come right back on up unless you stopped it before, then it won't come up. The volumes, it wants to use just a path on our file on our Linux server just called storage, but I like to keep everything underneath the volumes of Portainer. It's just a little bit easier to manage. So what I want to do is I'm going to remove this // and you can just leave it storage if you want to. You can also, give it a little bit more color and just be like, Vito storage. It's up to you. Next up, we have our ports. So since we're going to be forwarding this through Nginx Proxy Manager, I'm not going to use these ports because I don't want to just like expose direct traffic to this, and I want to add a security certificate. So Nginx Proxy Manager will help me do both of those. Someone might look at Caddy. I heard good things about that. You guys let me know if you've messed with Caddy, if you like it better than Nginx. All right, so what we need to do first, or access last really, is tell Portainer to create this volume. It's kind of stupid. It's not going to do it for us automatically, and that's okay. So we are going to just do this. We're going to be volumes and put a colon and then put Vito storage. One thing that's very important is the spacing here. I just want you to know that in case you accidentally can get confused and something like this comes up and says, hey, there's an error with YAML, all the collections must start at the same column. It's most likely that you're just starting at the wrong place. And so sometimes fixing it would just be a matter of tabbing over, and that goes away. If you're all the way over here, you might end up getting an error message, you might not. Let's do this. I'm going to see, I messed it up right there too. And let's do this. And if you get caught, if you get stuck on this at any time, just throw it into ChatGPT and say, hey, fix my Docker compose file, and it will. It makes it really easy. We'll know pretty quick if I screwed this up and it's not on the right column, because Portainer will stop and tell you you're an idiot, more or less. All right, that's pretty much about it. So we've told the Portainer to create my Vito storage. This name matches this right here. They do have to match. If they are off, you're going to get an error. Let's go ahead and deploy this. Cool, we got a green successful. That is a plus. And we can also pop into here and pop into our Vito app. And we can scroll down a little bit, and here's our storage that was created. Yeah, we can also see our volumes over here too. So there's our Vito storage, which I guess we could have just called it storage as it already added Vito, but whatever. It's too late now. Just no going back. You could just wipe it off and you could wipe it away and redo it. It's up to you. I don't care. All right, so one thing I do want to talk about before we move on to setting up our subdomains and everything is I've jumped back to the editor. I want to show you some of the options that are optional, some of the optional options, so that if you do want to change a little bit about this program, the way it works, you do have things that you can do. The way that I'm doing here is just a very basic get you up and going, and something you can immediately throw on there and it'd be good to go. But there are things that we can change. If we head back to our GitHub page and we scroll all the way to the top, we can click on our .env.examples, and these are environment variables that we can set in our stack here on our Portainer. And there's a lot of them. I'm not going to cover every single one of them, but there are a bunch that are highly configurable. So we can change our app name, our app URL, which I did not really need to add in there. It seemed to be working fine as it was. But we do also have some things that we can enable, like we can enable logging, so we can know, exactly what's going on. Bcrypt rounds, that's how many times I believe the file is being encrypted. This is by default set to 12. We are also going to be doing a database connection of SQLite. But if you had a database like Postgres or MySQL or something that you wanted to configure, I think you would be able to do that here pretty easily. Sessions, that's fine. Okay, yes, okay, we'll skip some of this. What I really wanted to check out, we're not going to be using Redis. This does have mail server capabilities to communicate with a mail server. I didn't really see an option to send email, but maybe I missed it. What I really wanted to pick out here at the very bottom is the you can use an AWS bucket to store these files instead of letting them live on your local machine. And by files, I mean I like more, you know, just the information, like the database information, the SQL information. You can also change the secret lifetime in minutes. So if you weren't exactly thrilled with the 1 hour live time of your secret, you can increase it here. So one thing I could do if I did want to change this is all I need to do is, let's see, I'm just going to copy this line here. And then we'll head back to our Portainer. And since I already have this deployed, I'm just going to edit it. I'm going to go to advanced mode and just drop this in here and just change this from 60 to 120. And then I'll just update. One thing to keep in mind is that even if you do push this out, it doesn't seem to change the text on your actual site. It'll still say that they expire in, what is it, 1 hour. One thing that I would love to see from the developer is the ability to remove this text here. That would be kind of cool, but I have not seen that yet. If that exists and I'm just blind to it, please let me know. So let's go ahead and proceed with our installation. All right, next up, we need to make sure that our Nginx Proxy Manager can talk to the Vito container. Right now, they are on completely different networks. You can even see that here. You can see our 172.21 and this one's 172.17. They can't see each other, and it's intentional because we don't want different Docker containers talking to each other unless they have permission. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into Nginx Proxy Manager. I was probably pointing at Portainer, but that's the same thing. You get the gist. Let's scroll all the way to the bottom. I'm going to make myself very, very small and put myself at the top here so you can see. So we're joined to a couple of networks already. If you drop this down, you'll see that the Vito network is right here. It's my Vito_default. I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to click join network. I will know if it worked successfully if I scroll all the way to the bottom, and I'll see myself in the Vito network, and I'll also see that I got an IP address. One really cool thing you can do here is you can click on Vito, and you can see this is the network, the same place. You know, you'll get the same information if you go to networks, but you'll see, hey, these are the different containers that are inside or that are on my network for Vito_default. Next up, we do need to set ourselves up a cool subdomain or primary domain. It's up to you, whichever one you want to do. I'm going to set myself up subdomain, which means I'm going to add an A record. An A record adds something in front of my domain name, which in my case is synhow.com. I'm using Namecheap. Feel free to use whatever you want to, whatever DNS manager you're comfortable with. I find that Namecheap works just as well as any of the other ones. Let's go ahead and click on add an A record here. And now we need to go ahead and enter our host, which I'm just going to call it Vito. And the IP address that we are looking for here is the external IP address of the server that we have. And if you don't have a server, a virtual private server, and you're interested in one, please check out my Arachnerd link that will also be in this description. You can get a really super cheap, reliable VPS for next to nothing. And I mean, I'm talking like $10 and $20 a year. All right, cool. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And don't worry about saving that. We didn't do anything with it. It's just lit up because I clicked on it. Right. And now we're going to go over to our Nginx Proxy Manager. Once we are in our Nginx Proxy Manager, let's click on our proxy hosts and let's add a proxy host at the top right. Zoom in a little bit so you can see everything. Asking for our domain name. And remember, we just set that up. It was vito.synhow.com. And they got that in there. And now it is looking for our host name or IP address. So I always use the host name because IP addresses in Docker can change depending on when something started. So if I go back here, let's go to my containers. My host name that I'm going to be pulling is going to be this guy right here. It's going to be the name of my container. I'm going to copy him. Just going to copy that information and come back here and paste it. One thing you want to make sure of when you're pasting, make sure you don't have a space. Look at that little space. See, he was going to cause you some trouble. Yeah, you would have had a bunch of, it wouldn't have like broke anything, but you just wouldn't have gotten to the container because it includes that space and considers it a name. Next up, we are looking for our port on which the container is listening for traffic. Easiest way to identify what that is to look at the Docker compose file. If we go back to this, we'll see that the port, let's take a look here. Our ports are 9998, and that is going to port 80 on our container. So the 9998 is the external facing port. That's the port that we would put out onto the web, and people would go to that port to get to our, like if in our case there, it would be like our IP address and then colon this port. But the port that we really care about, because we commented this out, remember, is this port right here, this port 80. So let's go ahead and just remember that. I don't think I need to copy and paste it. All right, so let's go ahead and paste this in here. Even though it did have 80 already in there, you still need to go ahead and type over it. It's just a placeholder. I'm going to block common exploits. I'm going to enable WebSocket support, and I'm going to go ahead and save this. Next up, if you'll look right here, we have HTTP only is our SSL, which means our traffic is not going to be encrypted. And if we are going to be hosting a secrets sharing site, we may want to encrypt the traffic. Just throwing that out there. I'm going to click on these little dots here and hit edit. I'm going to bring up my SSL. I'm going to drop this down. I'm going to request a new one. I want to force SSL. I'm not going to give you the option. And I want to agree to the terms of service and hit save. If you did everything right, you should get this little window just vanishing immediately. If there is a problem, it might come up with a little error message or something in red text. Typically, those error messages are because you may have mistyped the domain. You may have kind of done this out of order and did this step first before setting up the subdomain. In most cases, a little bit of time or fixing your spelling errors will remedy that situation. All right, so we've set up the container, we've set up our subdomain, and we have also set up our Nginx Proxy Manager, which means I think we're ready to click on this little link right here. This is going to take us straight to our site. We did everything right, which I think we did. We have vito.synhow.com ready to accept all of your juicy secrets. My keyboard is cool. And create. And there we go. Well, that was a quick one, wasn't it? So not a lot to it, but a very cool project. Definitely encourage you to check it out, especially if you're looking to share secrets pretty quick and not have them out there forever for someone to possibly intercept. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take it easy and talk soon.